Dad, am I adopted? Holy cow, Jim. What brought this up? I was in the delivery room when you were born. They let me watch. You looked like a little potato with arms and legs. It was one of the best experiences of my life, witnessing new life come into the world. In fact, I watched all of you kids being born. I was bursting with pride watching that. Your mom had a tough time with you. You were really big, and she had a hysterectomy after you were born. Well, I was thinking back to something that came up in biology class last semester. It was about the genetics of eye color. The teacher said if the parents had blue eyes, they couldn't have a brown-eyed baby. I mentioned that you and Mom had blue eyes, and mine were brown. He said I was probably adopted unless there was a brown eye gene in the family. Gary and Sarah have brown eyes too. Well, I know for a fact you weren't adopted. Then it dawned on me. Maybe I wasn't his biological father. My mouth fell open, but my mind went into denial. There's no way she would cheat on me. She loves me, she's a wonderful mother, she's a loving wife. Our sex life is great. She's always receptive to my advances. She wants it as much as I do. Many a night I wondered if she was going to wake up the neighbors with her wild orgasms. I never saw any suspicious behavior that would hint at her being unfaithful. It just couldn't happen. I shook off the thought, assuming there must be some mistake. Let's see what the internet says about that. Dad, the internet is full of bad information. I know, but let's see what we can find. There has to be an explanation. I fired up my search engine and looked up eye color genetics. There, see that? It's about recessive genes. Brown eye genes are dominant. If your grandparents had brown eyes, you could too. What color are their eyes, Dad? I opened the family pictures folder and found one of Amy's mom and dad taken at our wedding. I zoomed in and saw 2 pairs of blue eyes. A little ball of ice formed in my gut. I knew my parents had blue eyes too. We only had black and white pictures of both of our grandparents, so I wasn't sure about them. Dad, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Let's not jump to conclusions. There has to be some explanation. Your mom would never do that. I have a friend who works at a police lab. He does all kinds of genetic testing for court. Let me see what he says. And don't say a thing to anyone about this. I don't want to falsely accuse your mom of anything. Okay, Dad. I'll wait till you find out. Hi, John. This is Eric. How have you been? Hey, Eric. Long time no see. I'm good. How about you? I'm doing okay. I need to pick your brain. Can we meet for lunch? Sure, I can get away. We're actually having a slow day. How about the Olive Garden on 5th and Main? Say, 12:30. Perfect. I'll see you there. Bye. Hi, John. Good to see you again. Good to see you too. What's this all about? Well, Jim had something come up in his biology class. They were talking about genetics and eye color. He asked me about it. I couldn't find much on the internet, so I thought of you. The question is, can blue-eyed parents have brown-eyed kids? He thinks for a minute. Why do I suspect this is more than a question about biology? Is this about your kids? Okay, I'll level with you. My parents and Amy's parents have blue eyes. Amy and I have blue eyes. My kids all have brown eyes. Are they mine? He thinks for a minute. You put me in a bad spot. How do you want it, sugar-coated or straight out? The iceberg in my stomach just got bigger. I know the answer. They aren't mine, right? Pretty slim chance. Depends on how far back the recessive brown gene is. The farther back it is, the less likely they have brown eyes. It's all I can do to maintain my composure. Thanks, John. I need to go now. Eric, take it easy on yourself. Please. This is going to be hard for you. I watched my brother go through this. Don't give up on yourself. It gets easier. How quick it gets easier is up to you. I shake his hand and leave. I pull out of the parking lot trying to stay composed. I realize I shouldn't be driving in my condition. I pull into a shopping center and park. I lay my head on the steering wheel and lose it. My tears fall like rain. My gut is in turmoil. I open the door and toss my lunch. Every horrible thought goes through my mind. How could she do this? How can she be such a loving wife and mother and lie with another man? How could she let me raise another man's children? My ego and my pride are ripped to shreds. My heart has been torn from my chest. I cry for what seems like forever. I lift my head. I need to go somewhere and think. I need to figure out what to do. I head back to my office. As I walk in, my secretary Sally looks at me. Her mouth falls open. After 10 years of working for me, she knows me like a book. My God, Eric. What's the matter? You look terrible. I go and sit at my desk. She follows and puts her arm on my shoulder. What is it, Eric? What's happened? It's the worst day of my life. I think Amy cheated on me, and her lover is the father of my children. Oh God, Eric. How terrible. I can't believe she did that. Are you sure? Almost certain. I haven't talked to her yet. I'm way too upset to do it now. You need to talk to her. Maybe it isn't true. Go home now and talk to her. I don't think I can now. I need time to think. Please don't do anything rash. I'm sure there is a good explanation. I hope so, Sally. I really hope so. I leave the office and go to my car. I sit and try to think what I should do. The first thing I want to do is get the kids out of the house before I confront Amy. I call Jim. Go pack your bags. I gave Jim my ATM card for groceries. Make sure you have enough food. There's probably enough propane for a few days. And no wild parties, okay? I don't want to hear about any trouble. Maybe a little beer, but don't go overboard. After saying goodbye to them and watching them leave, excitement fills me. I plan to cook Eric's favorite dinner and surprise him later. As I prepare, my phone rings. Hello, Eric. Hi, Amy. I know the kids aren't mine. I'll call you in a couple of days. I need time to think. No, Eric, please. It's not what you think. Please come home. I'll explain everything. He hangs up, and I panic, calling him back, but he doesn't answer. My world crashes down. I feel lost and alone. I collapse, crying in despair, then manage to reach my bedroom and cry for help. Please, God. Help me make this right. I've lost everything. Unable to reach him, I call his office, but he's not there. Sally reassures me he'll call soon, but I'm left waiting, imagining the worst. Meanwhile, in the car, Sarah expresses her confusion and loyalty to Eric, while Gary hopes they can work through it. Jim blames himself, regretting bringing up the adoption topic. Sarah comforts him, insisting it's not his fault. Gary remains hopeful, determined to support both parents and keep the family together. The next morning, I wake up hoping for Eric's call, but there's nothing. Okay, one step at a time. I need to shower and have breakfast. I take my phone with me to the bathroom and shower quickly. After dressing up, I pocket my phone and head to the kitchen. I make coffee and toast, keeping an eye on my phone, hoping for Eric's call. Please call, Eric. Please. I love you. Let me explain. I eat breakfast, fixated on the phone, but it remains silent. I try to stay hopeful, knowing Eric will call eventually. 2 hours later, my phone finally rings, and it's Eric. Hello, Eric. Please come home. We need to talk. I can explain everything. Give me an hour and I'll be there. I need to shower first. Okay, baby. Remember, I love you. Goodbye, Amy. I arrive at what used to be my home, unsure of what to expect. I gather my thoughts before ringing the doorbell. Amy welcomes me inside immediately. Come in, Eric. You didn't need to ring the doorbell. This is still your home. This is where your family is. She knows just how to draw me in. Come to the kitchen. I have a fresh pot of coffee on. We sit down with our coffee, and Amy begins to explain. Okay, Eric. It's time to talk. I've cried it all out, and I don't know what to do. Let me explain everything. Then we can start fixing everything. Okay, I'm listening. I'll start from the beginning. I met this guy in college. He was incredibly smart, with an off-the-charts IQ and an extraordinary memory. He lacked social skills, but we became friends, and I tried to help him adapt. Then I met you, and everything changed. I fell in love with you instantly. You became my entire world, and I knew I wanted to marry you after our first date. I saw what a wonderful person you were, and I wanted you to be the father of my children. I see where this is going, Amy. You slept with him and let me believe they were mine. You kept me around as a meal ticket to raise your brilliant children. Is that it? No, Eric, that's not it at all. I wanted the best for our children. I knew you would be an amazing father. I never wanted to hurt you. You're the love of my life. I just wanted him as a sperm donor. That's insane, Amy. You let me live a lie all these years. You let me love the kids, knowing they weren't mine. You lied about another man being in your bed. How could you keep such a big secret for so long? It became easier with time. I pushed it to the back of my mind, knowing you loved me and the kids, and they loved you. It was beautiful to see. So my genes didn't match up to your expectations. Despite that, I graduated from college in the top 15% of my class, followed by law school in the top 10%. I passed the bar exam on my first attempt and landed a position at the most prestigious law firm on the West Coast. My success rate in cases is unmatched in the history of the firm, and I'm on track for a full partnership once Johnson retires. I regret not meeting your genetic standards. She starts to cry, and while I feel the urge to comfort her, the pain and anger hold me back. I love her, but I despise what she did. Please don't see it that way. I only wanted the best for our children. You've been the best father anyone could ask for. Your influence shaped them into wonderful individuals who love you dearly. It's because of you they turned out so well. I understand your intentions, but it's the deceit that troubles me. I'm truly sorry for that. I never meant to hurt you. I never imagined you'd find out. I love you too much to cause you pain. I could possibly learn to live with that part. It won't be easy, but I could try. But there's another aspect we need to address. Oh no, please. I know the infidelity part is devastating for you. I don't know how to make it right. Devastating is an understatement. You want to know how it makes me feel. I have this image in my head. I see you in bed with him, your legs wrapped around him as he thrusts. I see him ejaculating inside you as you beg for it. I hear your screams of pleasure. That image haunts me whenever I think of him fathering our children. Please, Eric. This is torture for you. Don't do this to yourself. Tell me it didn't happen that way. Tell me you didn't enjoy it with him. I know you well enough. I learned on our third date. Do you remember that? I'll never forget how you begged me to finish inside you. Please, don't. Please, she sobs. I have my pride, Sarah. It's how men are wired. Tell me, was he better endowed? Did he satisfy you more than I did? How many times did you sleep with him? I suspect more than 3. Did I come second? Did I unknowingly clean up after him? Please, Eric. This will only hurt you more. I've hurt you enough. Please. Tell me, or I'm walking out that door, and you'll never see me again. I need the truth from you. I'm already hurting. It can't get much worse. Okay, I'll tell you. Yes, he was larger than you, but he wasn't a better lover. He visited for a week, during which we were intimate daily. I pretended to be unwell when he was here. Once pregnant, we stopped using protection. I conceived Gary and Sarah quickly but had difficulty conceiving Jim. He struggled to spend time away from his wife, fabricating business trips. I did have orgasms with him, I couldn't control that. You know how I am. Are you still in touch with him? Yes, occasionally. He sends emails asking about them, sends birthday and Christmas gifts. I just add my name. Does his wife know about this? No, he says it would ruin his marriage. I want to know who he is. He owes me. Please don't cause trouble for him. He has a good marriage and 3 sons in college. I won't if he meets with me. I plan to collect child support. If he refuses, I'll sue him, and his wife will find out. His problem. She may find out anyway, explaining the sum won't be easy. But it's on him. Please don't hurt him. He's not a bad person. It took a while to persuade him to go along with my plan. I think he agreed to stop me from asking. Do you have feelings for him? Are you protecting him? No, I don't. I just don't want anyone else hurt. I've heard enough people with this. What's his name? Brian Parsons. He lives in Tempe, Arizona, a physics professor at Arizona State. Email him, say no more contact. Gifts, inquiries about the kid, everything stops. Agreed? Yes, Eric. I'll do anything. I love you. I'll call the kids to come home. Sarah will have a lot to say. They love you, remember that. Do you still love me? Probably forever. I hate what you did, not sure about forgiving the cheating. I may need help. I'll go to counseling. Please don't give up. I'm sorry. I'll step back, need space to think. Won't abandon you or the kids. Okay, just don't give up. Call me. I will. Need to go, call the kids. Packing, my wife asks for a hug. We embrace, and I leave as she starts crying. Next day, I call the kids to come home. Hi, Dad. Are you okay? I'm okay. Talk to Mom, sorting things out. Stay calm. I spoke with her. You can all come home now. I'm going to rent an apartment for a while to clear my head. Be gentle with her, she's struggling. I know you're angry, but go easy. Are you divorcing her? I haven't decided yet. Just come home, and I'll explain everything. I'll keep you updated. One thing, now that I know who Mr. Sperm Donor is, if you want to contact him, it's your choice. I've gone this long without talking to him. I can go longer. Maybe you'll change your mind as you get older. Okay, Dad. We'll be home soon. Goodbye. I love you. We love you too, Dad. See you soon. The kids return, embracing their tearful mom. Sarah starts questioning immediately, direct as always. Gary and Jim listen quietly. Amy explains, apologizing for the family's breakup. They reassure her of their love and support, and she resolves to be the best mom she can. Meanwhile, I search for an apartment, preparing for single life. It's going to be tough, but I have no choice. The kids visit often, and Sarah offers to cook for me occasionally. Deciding not to wallow in self-pity, I find a nearby bar with friendly staff. I plan to become a regular. Back at work, my secretary Sally welcomes me warmly. Good to see you back, Eric. Need anything? I moved out, got an apartment. Amy confirmed the kids aren't mine. Decided to come back to work instead of moping at home. You made the right choice. Let me know if you need anything. Thanks, Sally. I appreciate it. I have some messages for you. And one task, collecting back child support from Mr. Sperm Donor. Going to hit him hard. Yep, starting at $400,000 if he settles, more if it goes to court. He's a professor, curious how his wife will react. I inform my boss and get back to work. First task, Sally calls Mr. Parsons. Arizona State College, how may I direct your call? May I speak with Mr. Brian Parsons, please? May I ask who's calling? Yes, I'm calling from Mr. Eric Jensen's office at Johnson, Williams, and Benson Law Offices. Just a moment, please. After a brief pause. I'm sorry, Mr. Parsons isn't available at the moment. Can I take a message? Sure. Please give him my number. It's XXXXXXXX. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. Sally looks at me, grinning, and pumps her fist 3 times, saying, yes. 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 I'm glad she's on my side. 2 hours later. Hello, this is Mr. Jensen's office. My name is Sally. How may I assist you? This is Brian Parsons. Eric Jensen called me. Yes, Mr. Parsons. Let me connect you. Please hold. She flashes me another smile and a thumbs up. Hello, Mr. Parsons. Thanks for getting back to me. I've discovered that I've been supporting 3 of your children for the past 20 years or so. What's this about? Is this some sort of extortion? No, not at all. It's about back child support. I suppose Amy finally told you. Seems the secret's out. Yes, indeed. I'm offering you 2 options. We can settle this out of court, or we can go the legal route. Settling would save you on legal fees. Have you decided on an amount? Yes, but there's a condition. I require a notarized letter from you relinquishing all parental rights to the 3 children and agreeing not to contact Amy or the kids. I see. You drive a hard bargain, Mr. Jensen. What's the sum? Based on $500 per month per child until they're 21, it's just under $400,000. Let's round it up to $400,000. All 3 kids plan to go to college, and I'm sure you wouldn't want to hinder that. Considering you have 3 sons in college, you understand the expenses. That's a hefty sum. I'll need some time to come up with it. Can you give me 30 days? 30 days should suffice. Once I have the amount, I'll provide the notarized letter releasing you from any financial obligations for the children. All right, I'll be in touch. Goodbye, Mr. Parsons. Sally gives me a high five and a hug. Well done, Eric. That's going to cause a stir. Wonder if he's sweating. It's the price you pay for your actions. The following week, I seek out a counselor to assist me with my struggles. I explain the situation in detail, including my emotions and objectives. She's experienced and proposes a plan. She suggests confronting the troubling video in my mind, allowing myself to feel the emotions it brings, then gradually gaining control over it as if it were a file on a computer. Initially, I'm to let it play, pause, and stop it at will, ultimately deleting it entirely. She assures me that while the memory will remain, it will lose its power over time. Over the next few weeks, I follow her advice. As predicted, I experience intense emotions at first, but they gradually diminish. I begin to manipulate the mental video, gaining control over it. Eventually, I delete it altogether, finding relief in the process. 3 days later, I receive a check from the biological father, delivered by courier. I open a separate account and deposit the funds. As summer comes to an end, Gary and Sarah return to college, while Jim decides to pursue a career in fire science, possibly to ensure his mother isn't alone. He's a thoughtful kid who cares deeply for his mom. One Friday evening, Sally approaches me in my office with concern. She notes my tendency to isolate myself and suggests we go out to dinner to reintegrate me into social life. I agree, suspecting she has ulterior motives for my well-being. That evening, I arrive at Sally's doorbell at 7, only to be taken aback by her transformation. She's ditched her usual office attire for a stunning black dress, revealing a different side of her. We head to Romano's for a seafood dinner, and despite my distraction by Sally's new look, we enjoy our meal and conversation. Mine is too. Good choice on this place. I'll make a note of it, I comment, appreciating the restaurant selection. We engage in conversation and savor our meal. As it nears the end, I prepare to drive her home. During the ride, she inquires about my relationship with Amy, noting my reserved remarks. We're civil to each other. I'm taking time to work on myself. It's premature to consider reconciliation. I need more time, I respond honestly. I hope you two can work things out. You had a strong marriage, she remarks, expressing optimism. Yeah, had is the operative word. I doubt it'll ever return to what it once was, I admit, acknowledging the challenges. Is she seeking counseling? She wonders. Not that I'm aware of. She hasn't mentioned it, but I'm sure she would if she were, I reply, appreciating her concern. I probably shouldn't have brought it up. I didn't want to dampen the evening, she regrets. It's okay. I truly enjoyed tonight. You're great company. And seeing you outside the office was a pleasant surprise. You're a lovely woman, I compliment sincerely. You're too kind. But come Monday, it's back to being the office secretary, she remarks, shifting gears. You're an exceptional secretary and a wonderful friend. Thanks for being there for me, I express gratitude. I'm craving more seafood next weekend, so consider me penciled in, she hints playfully. Consider it done, I confirm with a smile. I drop her off at her house with a hug and a quick kiss, both of us maintaining a respectful boundary. The following Friday evening, she visits the office with a proposal. Tonight, I want seafood and dancing. You're buying again, she declares playfully. You're on, I agree, intrigued by her suggestion. I ring her doorbell later that evening, greeted by her in a stunning red dress. Her presence is captivating, and our connection grows as she greets me warmly. We enjoy dinner and hit the dance floor, where her elegance and skills surprise me. Dancing brings us closer physically, igniting a subtle spark between us. As we return to our table, she shares a revelation that catches me off guard. Eric, I need to tell you something. I've never mentioned having a steady boyfriend because I don't have one. I do have some friends with benefits, but none of them compare to you. I never pursued anything because of your marriage. I just want you to know that if you ever need more than a friend or secretary, I'm here, she confesses with sincerity. Her admission leaves me speechless, unaware of her feelings until now. Wow, I never expected that. As it stands, I can't pursue a relationship. I'm still married, and there's a chance Amy and I may reconcile. If that changes, you'll be the first to know, I respond honestly. I understand, Eric. Please don't let this affect your decision with Amy. I shared this because I value our friendship, she assures me, maintaining her support. Thank you, Sally. Your friendship has always meant a lot to me, I express gratitude. The ride home is filled with contemplation, and I drop her off with a hug and a kiss, appreciating her honesty. On Saturday afternoon, I find myself on the sofa watching sports when Amy's call interrupts my solitude. Hi, Amy. What's on your mind? I answer the call. Hi, Eric. I've been thinking. I'd like you to come over this evening for dinner. I'm planning on making your favorite lasagna. We haven't spent time together in a while, and I thought it might be nice to catch up, Amy invites. Her offer surprises me, and I wonder if she has ulterior motives. After a moment's consideration, I decide, why not? Let's see how it goes. That sounds good, Amy. What time? I respond. How about 7, and you don't need to ring the doorbell, she suggests, hinting at familiarity. All right, see you then, I agree, curious about her intentions. I arrive at her house and take a deep breath before entering. Amy greets me with a warm smile and a hug, dressed in my favorite outfit that accentuates her figure. Come in and sit. Dinner is almost ready. I'll pour you a glass of wine, she welcomes me, bustling around the kitchen. As we eat, we engage in casual conversation about the kids and their activities. Sarah has a boyfriend, Gary excels in his studies, and Jim is doing well in his fire science classes online. After dinner, Amy leads me to the sofa, sitting close beside me. Her arm brushes against mine as we talk, and gradually, she moves closer. I instinctively put my arm around her shoulder, and she snuggles against me, her breasts pressing against my side. She kisses my cheek affectionately. "It's nice to be with you again, Eric." "It's been a long time," she remarks softly. "Yes, it has, Amy," I reply, feeling a mix of emotions. She turns towards me, kissing me passionately on the lips. Our tongues intertwine, igniting familiar desires. As our kiss deepens, she moans softly, and I feel her arousal. Unable to resist, I reciprocate, caressing her breast as our passion intensifies. "Eric, darling. Come to the bedroom with me. Let's try." "Can we?" she whispers, her voice filled with longing. I decide to go along with her, having come this far. She leads me to the bedroom, where our passion ignites further as we undress each other. We fall onto the bed, and Amy eagerly takes me into her mouth, arousing me fully. She straddles me, guiding me inside her, and we move together in a rhythm of desire. "Oh God, baby. It's so good to have you back where you belong," she moans, lost in pleasure. I respond with equal fervor, stroking her in a way she enjoys. She matches my movements, signaling her approaching climax. However, as she begs for my release, an unwelcome image intrudes into my mind, causing my arousal to wane. I stop abruptly, overcome by conflicting emotions. Amy senses my withdrawal and holds me close, tears welling in her eyes. "It's okay, baby. We can try again." "It's okay," Amy reassures me, her voice filled with compassion. I don't respond verbally. Instead, I roll off the bed and sit on its edge, burying my face in my hands. Amy begins crying uncontrollably. "I'm sorry, Amy. I guess I'm not over it." "I'm so sorry," I apologize, feeling overwhelmed by emotions. She embraces me from behind, crying too hard to speak. We sit in silence, the weight of the past crashing down on us. Eventually, Amy releases me and collapses onto her pillow, sobbing. I gather my clothes and start getting dressed. "Amy, I think it's best if I go." "I'm sorry," I say softly, finishing dressing before leaving. Amy watches me leave, tears streaming down her face. Driving home, I repeat the words in my mind like a mantra, "It won't ever work. I can't go back." Returning to my apartment, I'm greeted by a sense of relief, as if it's become a sanctuary. I sit on the sofa, replaying the evening in my mind. Everything was fine until she began begging for my climax. She had no idea how it would affect me. Now, I have to confront that mental image. Remembering the techniques my counselor taught me, I start mentally blurring her face in the picture and closing the mental window every time it surfaces. Slowly, the pain begins to diminish. When Monday arrives, Sally senses my distress immediately. "Eric, something's wrong." "What happened?" she asks, concerned. "Come in and sit." "I need to talk," I reply, grateful for her support. "I'm here for you, Eric." "I told you I'll always be here," she reassures me. I recount the evening's events to Sally, admitting my struggles with the intrusive mental image and the realization that a reconciliation with Amy may not be possible due to the lingering pain. "Oh God, Eric. I'm so sorry." "That's terrible for both of you," Sally responds sympathetically. "I've realized we may never be together again. The pain is just too much when I'm with her. I spent the weekend trying to cope with that mental image. I'll probably need more counseling. I thought I had it under control, but I don't, I confess. I'll help you, Eric. However I can. Just let me know," Sally offers sincerely. "Thanks, Sally. I'll likely need your support," I express my gratitude. Over the following weeks, I continue working with my counselor to address the intrusive image. Eventually, I regain control, and it becomes just another memory, albeit a painful one. As Christmas passes, I appreciate the support of my children, who bring joy into my home. With the new year, Sally and I resume our Friday night dinners and dancing. After 6 weeks of enjoyable companionship, we prepare for another evening out. I ring Sally's doorbell, and she greets me in a stunning blue dress, shorter than I've seen her wear before. My gaze lingers on her, noticing her exposed skin and feeling a surge of desire. As she pulls me into a passionate kiss, I can't help but be drawn to her, relishing the intimacy between us. Ready to head out for some dancing? I suggest. During the drive home, her hand rests on my thigh, and I reciprocate, feeling the warmth between us. She guides my hand up, and I can feel her arousal. I explore, finding her wetness. Meanwhile, she takes hold of my cock, which is straining against my pants. She unzips me and starts stroking me gently, her eyes locked with mine. I almost lose focus on the road twice before we arrive at her house. Pulling up in front of her house, she leans over and whispers, "Bring that inside." I have plans for it. What do you have in mind? I inquire with a grin. You'll see. Come with me, she responds, leading me straight to her bedroom. Sit back and enjoy the show, she commands playfully. Yes, ma'am, I reply, settling onto the bed. She touches my bulge through my boxer briefs, teasingly remarking, "Nice bulge you've got there. Let's take a closer look." She gets me nice and wet, taking me into her mouth with enthusiasm. I almost reach the point of release, but she pulls back to prolong the pleasure. God, Sally, you're incredible, I gasp. I take pride in my skills. Just relax and enjoy, she says confidently, resuming her efforts. In just a few minutes, I reach climax, releasing into her mouth with a shudder. She quickly spins around, presenting herself to me, saying, "Let's play Wolfie. You take me from behind like an alpha male wolf claiming his mate." She catches her breath and sits up, removing the condom and heading to the bathroom. I hear the sound of water running and the toilet flushing. When she returns, she has a wet washcloth and a hand towel. Gently, she cleans my cock and finishes with a kiss. "There, all clean," she says, getting back into bed and laying her head on my chest, holding my limp cock in her hand. "Quite a night, huh, baby?" she asks. "Sure was. You're my first in that department. Pretty incredible." "I have a feeling I'll want to do that again," I reply. "You'll have plenty of opportunities. You'll be filling all my holes over and over," she says with a playful smile. "Challenge accepted," I say, pulling her close as we settle under the covers. I turn off the bedside lamp, and we drift off to sleep in each other's arms. I filed for divorce, giving half of the $400,000 I received from Mr. Sperm Donor and the house. Amy didn't contest it. I hear snippets about the kids. Apparently, Mr. Sperm Donor got taken to the cleaners by his wife. As for Amy, the kids tell me she's seeing a counselor and slowly accepting that we're finished. She's working on forgiving herself for everything that happened. Sarah is in love and planning to marry a great guy who's aiming for Harvard Law School. Jim is almost done with his fire science classes and plans to work nearby. Gary is excelling in computer science with a 4.0 GPA and a promising career ahead. Sally and I are exclusive now. She understands I'm taking things slow, and we try to keep our relationship professional at the office, despite her occasional teasing. A year later, we move in together, enjoying each other's company and exploring our intimacy. Sarah got married, and Amy showed no animosity towards Sally at the wedding. Sally and I are delighted to become grandparents, and we help support them financially. Gary landed a great job and is planning to marry his girlfriend. Jim is doing well in his firefighting career and remains supportive of Amy. A year later, I become a full partner at the firm, with Sally as my personal assistant, both professionally and intimately. Write your opinion in the comments. Thanks for watching and have a great day.